This is my experience with the M1 Mac Mini. Okay, I think we are good now. So, welcome, everyone. This is my experience with the M1 Mac Mini after continuous use of Windows throughout my entire life. So, first, I'm going to explain a couple of things that you should know before switching to a Mac if you are switching from Windows or maybe even Linux or Chrome OS if you are. And next, I will talk about some things that I just love about Mac and that just shine and make me want to stay. And then I will talk about some applications I use to enhance my Mac experience. Alright, let's go. So the first thing that's been a little controversial about Apple Silicon is RAM sizes. So when the M1 chip first debuted, there were two sizes for RAM, 8GB and 16GB. This Mac Mini has 16. And to be honest, most people would need 8 if you're doing more pro level things like photo editing or video editing. Then I'd recommend you go for the... I am going to turn the screensaver off. But yeah, go for the 16 if you're doing higher level editing. Much better. Alright. So, number 2. If you think that none of your apps are going to run on Apple Silicon, you will be fooled. You are fooled. You have been fooled. Because every single Intel application that runs on an Intel Mac can run on Apple Silicon. So, Apple has a tool called Rosetta 2, which is basically a virtualizer for existing Intel applications to run smoothly on M1. And yeah, I mean, it works pretty well. I use some applications with Rosetta. I haven't had any problems with them. And it gets even better when developers start optimizing their apps for Apple Silicon because the performance of those apps is just unrivaled on both M1 to M1 Ultra. Number 2, when getting your new Mac, except if you have all your files saved locally and you have none in the cloud, you don't use cloud storage of any kind, then unless you do that, don't transfer any files from your Windows PC using Apple's Migration Assistant tool. Just set your Mac up fresh, it'll be much better. You know, this is really something that Microsoft should implement. Yearly feature updates that are actually good! macOS has those, just like iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, tvOS, HomePod, software. Like, they all have yearly software updates, and so does the Mac. The latest one is macOS Monterey. Before that was Big Sur, Catalina, Mojave, High Sierra, Sierra. There's everything, and they all include good features instead of some, like, random things that the average consumer is not going to care about at all. Like, tell me seriously. I know this is the second update in the year, but really, what did Microsoft add with version 21H2? Give me a good thing that many people will actually use. That's right, nothing! And number 5, just general things. The dock is your taskbar. The menu bar, at least the top right part of it, is your system tray on Windows. Your notification center, the bottom part of it, after the notifications, are your widgets. Your launchpad is your start menu. Spotlight search up in the system tray is, of course, your search. And mission control is task view. Remember that. Also, Sirius Cortana. Yeah. Okay. Alright. How do you feel about being on a Mac and only giving subpar results? I don't have an answer to that. Is there something else I can help with? Yes, there actually is something you can help with. Be better. Be a better assistant. Be like Alexa. Be like Google. I know you don't have access to my information because Apple acknowledges your privacy. But, like, please, please improve! This kid... I'm not going to deal with you. Stop. Alright, now here we go. Things that I just love about Mac and make me want to stay. Number 1, at least the Apple Silicon Macs don't slow down. When I was using a Windows PC, I would see that for the first time. When I set it up, it would be blazing fast, rocking through every one of my tasks, and then, after maybe 2 to 4 weeks of usage, it would just slow down on me. No matter how fast the PC was, it would suffer from a noticeable drop in performance. And maybe that's due to some of the installs and uninstalls that I've done, but I've been installing and uninstalling apps every single day on this, and it hasn't suffered. It is still maintaining its peak performance, and I've had this since March 18th, right? Mac Studio launch day. We also have the Mac Studio in the house, so that's cool. If you guys want to see a little review on that, the M1 Max version, then alright, let me know. I'm not going to deliver because that's normally what I don't do, but, I mean, if you want to, just tell. Number 2, Apple Silicon is just fast. Like, I love the fact that it takes me, even on this base M1 model. I mean, it does have 16 gigabytes of RAM, but still, it's just an M1 chip, not an M1 Pro, not an M1 Max, not an M1 Ultra, just M1. I love the fact that Photoshop on this takes 2 seconds to open. So I no longer feel like if I accidentally open up Photoshop, I'm like, oh god, now I have to spend an eternity waiting for this to load up, then quit it, and that takes away my time. I don't feel that anymore. It just feels like a regular app. It just feels like I'm opening up the Photos app. It's like I'm not opening up a pro application. It's great. Number 3, you've heard this a lot, but integration on Macs with other devices like iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, and HomePods, and even Apple TVs is just amazing. I can get FaceTime calls, regular phone calls, I can send an iMessage through my Mac, I can access my Apple TV screen via QuickTime Player. I can remotely access what is going on my TV, and I can route audio from here to my HomePod. It doesn't route system sounds, it only routes media, but that's fine. It's still amazing, and I can unlock my Mac with my Apple Watch. I just wear it, and when I'm on the lock screen, it just opens automatically. It's perfect. So there's really, when you have an Apple Watch, there is no need to bring Face ID to the Mac, but, I mean, we would all appreciate it. So, Apple, for the last time, for the very last time, please, please. Number 4, on a Mac, apps, when you click the red X button on the top left of an app, some apps, well, I mean most, but some actually quit and some don't. I like the ones that don't quit because when you click the X button, it still has that application somewhat running in the background, but doesn't take up too many resources. So it is there at an instant when you want to open up the app. Photoshop does this pretty well, which I like, but, you know, I'd rather keep it force closed. Okay, I get it. Things like server applications and games, some of them just aren't there on a Mac. But that's because this is meant to be a consumer device. And I'm not kidding when I say that every single application is there for your use. For what you are doing, every application is there. I have not had a single problem with any application finding. It's just there. And I think this is the last one I can come up with at the top of my head. But, okay. Windows has a bunch of different versions for a single operating system. There's Windows 10 Home, Pro, Education, Enterprise, Home N, Pro N. Like, what are the N's for? And there's Home Single Language? Why? Why is there a single language version? It just doesn't make sense. On a Mac, it is just Mac OS. And that's that. There are going to be different versions of Mac OS, but that's known. There's not multiple different sub-versions for a single version of Mac OS. I mean, okay, at the very most, there's Mac OS and macOS server. I'm not sure if macOS Monterey has a server version, but I sure know that previous versions did. But, like, that's only one extra version. Windows has, like, 20! Why? Okay, let's get to my favorite apps. Alright, okay, let's look at this first app. So, unfortunately, this is paid, and the app is called Better Snap Tool. So, the entire goal of this app is to just make snapping windows better. If you want to move a window to the side and another window to the side, then, of course, you could do that via hovering over the green button and choosing your options. But what if you want 4 windows open at the same time and all in their respective, all in like the same size? Then what do you do? So let's say I have a music window open. All right. Now I can simply drag the top bit of this window and drag it over to the side. It moves over. And if I drag it again to a random position on the screen, it'll revert back to its state before I snap the window. So it's very useful. It basically copies what Windows does. And I've enabled it so that if I press the command Control-Z, then I can get all of these options similar to the new Windows 11 snap layouts. I can also right-click the green button, and if I right-click the X, then that force closes the app. So I like that. It's a pretty cool app, and if you're willing to spend the $3, then I'd say go ahead, do it. It'll make your life so much easier. Alright, this next app is called Fluid, and you know how Microsoft Edge, let's say, has that feature where you can install any website as an app on your start menu, your desktop, your taskbar, anything like that? Well, Fluid does that job as well. So let's say I have Wordle over here. Everyone loves Wordle. It's so cool. So it opens in its very own window. Very nice. Very cool. Yes, I'm sorry. I leaked the Wordle for you if you haven't already played it. But I'm not going to be posting this the day of the Wordle. So, yeah. It's nice. It runs in its own window. It makes sorting things a lot easier and doesn't make you lose any track of all the websites that you have open. So I like that. Alright, this next app is called Mac Mouse Fix, and I would use Steer Mouse if it wasn't paid, but Mac Mouse Fix is a good alternative. So I've enabled it so that the middle button click opens up Spotlight. If I hold it, it opens up Launchpad. And double click is this feature called Smart Zoom. So if you're in, let's say, a Safari window and you want to zoom in on a specific thing, hover your cursor over that specific thing, double click the mouse button, and it zooms in to that specific thing. It's really cool. And you can also enable the back and forward keys. This application is for the mice that don't have their own Mac application. So I like that. It's cool. Very pog. Okay, alright, let's go to our next app. This is kind of an addition to Mac Mouse Fix. This is Moss. So Moss enables for smooth scrolling. So if I were to go into a Safari window, into, let's say, Apple, and if I were to scroll, it would appear very, very smooth. Because by default, on a traditional mouse, if you're using something like a Mac Mini, then the scrolling animation doesn't exist. There is none. It is very jittery, and it's just not good. But Moss fixes that, so I like it. Alright, next one, EQMac. This is very useful when you have your Mac connected to a monitor which does have built-in speakers, but doesn't let you adjust the volume. So let's say I were to try to adjust the volume. I'm going to turn off EQMac over here. I'm connected to an LG 32UN 550W monitor, and you'll see when I try to adjust the volume, I can't. It does not allow me to, because Macs try to adjust volume hardware-wise, and what that means is it needs to communicate with the device to adjust the volume. It doesn't want to do any software volume adjusting. So when I'm trying to adjust the volume on the Mac Mini speakers, I am able to, because the Mac Mini can of course communicate with itself. But if I'm connected to if my sound is just coming through HDMI, I can't adjust the volume. I need an audio jack from the monitor, which I just don't have. That isn't a thing on this. So if I open up EQMac, you'll see that I am connected to, let it load. Yeah, you'll see that I'm connected to my LG HDR 4K monitor. And you can see it's connected via HDMI, no audio jack. And I've made some equalizer adjustments, but now when I try to adjust the volume, it does it properly because EQMac has this feature called Boost. So if you enable Boost, you can make the volume of what you're playing higher than it's intended to be. So because of that Boost feature, it needs to adjust volume software-wise, which is what enables me to adjust the volume like this, like how God intended it to be. Okay, next app. Hidden Bar. This app is actually recommended by Apple on the App Store. So you see this little icon over here I have in my menu bar? If I click the icon, then you'll see this whole array of menu bar items, which I just don't want showing all the time. So Hidden Bar automatically hides those, and I can only see what I want to see, like OneDrive, OBS now because I'm recording, Bluetooth, sound, Spotlight, and of course you can't hide these, Control Center and Siri, and the date, and the time, and the flashing time separators. That is a lot of things. Okay, so next app is Mackie. So you know when you use the command Windows V on a Windows PC, it opens up a handy clipboard tool, which is very useful for when you have multiple items that you want to paste into a single field. Let's say I have 4 YouTube links and I want to paste them all into Discord. I don't need to copy one, paste, then go back, copy the link, paste it, go and rinse and repeat. I don't need to do that. So if I set the command to Control V, the command is something different, but you'll see I have a bunch of things in my clipboard. The automatic clipboard history length is 200 items, and I do not like that, so I have set it to just 15. I think 15 is what Windows does. I'm not sure, but pretty cool app. I like that I've discovered it. It is $10 on the App Store, but if you go to the Mackie website, Mackie.app, I'm sorry for causing you to lose a bit of your revenue, Mackie, but if you click download now, it says name a fair price, and you can just check it out for free. So I don't know what's wrong with your system, Mackie, but like, I don't know, maybe this is a sign to fix it. I don't know, maybe try at least. Okay, next app. I think there's only like, yeah, one more. New File Menu. So New File Menu is an app where, so you know how on Windows, I'm getting tired of speaking continuously, but how on Windows you can right click and there will be a little I forgot the word. Fine, a little thingy over here that says new file, and you can add a text document, a Word document, Excel, PowerPoint, anything like that. And New File Menu allows you to enable presets of any document that you want. So I've enabled it to be just text file, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Pages, Numbers, and Keynote. So pretty useful. Because I'm using OneDrive, that eliminates me seeing the option over here, but if you're not using OneDrive, then it will show. Okay, and I think that's all the apps. So I've listed all the apps in the description if you want to download any, and yeah. Alright, so I guess that's the end of this video. You spent 21 minutes watching my own video, And, you know, I really admire that you took the time to watch through the entire thing, if you did. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, wash your hands, you know, go and take a shower whenever you have time, or if you didn't already today. Do whatever you need to do. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!